Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. Today I want to talk about the Slovenian entry for Eurovision 2025, which is How Much Time Do We Have Left by Klemen. I just recorded this entire video and then I noticed that I chose the wrong microphone. So I was not happy, but now I'm going to do it again just for you. Now, Klemen won the Slovenian national final on Saturday. He's obviously a big name in the world of Eurovision, in Slovenia especially. He presented the Slovenian points a few times. I fondly remember when he gave 12 points to Lena in 2010. He's also a comedian and he has hosted the national final a few times. He did a video of all the Eurovision winners since 2000 and he impersonates them. Really cool, check it out. And he posted it right after winning the national final, which is a smart PR move. So maybe we will see more of that. He obviously loves Eurovision. So I'm kind of happy for him that he can go. Before I listened to the song, I saw the votes of my subscribers in the community tab of my channel. By the way, if you want to participate in these votes, you got to subscribe to the channel. And I want to show them to you now because I was a bit shocked when I saw this. 5% gave the song 5 stars, 10% gave it 4 stars, 27% gave it 3 stars, and 58% gave it only 1 or 2 stars. So not a very popular entry, and I was surprised because I thought he was very popular. And then I thought, well, he's a comedian, maybe it's a joke entry. So you can imagine my surprise when I saw the actual entry. Now, as always, I will be talking about different aspects of the song and performance, giving points from 1 to 5, and then we'll have an overall point total. And then I will also try to predict Slovenia's chances in Eurovision, and we'll have a quick look at your comments as well. We already saw your votes. But I want to show you some of your comments as well. Now, in this first part, I'm giving my personal subjective opinion, and I want to see whether the song is really as bad as a lot of my followers seem to think. Now, I always start with the lyrics of the song, and in this case, it's not really necessary to put them up on the screen because they are very direct and very on the nose, which is kind of my first criticism of the lyrics. However, they also tell a very, very personal story. He's talking about the moment that his wife got the diagnosis of a life-threatening illness. He really describes the whole situation and how they had to go to the doctor after that. And he asks the question, how much time do we have left? I think it's very difficult to critique and rate something that is so personal to someone and such a traumatic moment in the life of someone. I kind of think that it's nice that these lyrics are this simple and this direct because he's kind of sharing his story like he would tell it to a friend maybe. I would have liked them to be a bit more poetic though, a bit more not as direct. I do think that, you know, having tired and tried metaphors that we've heard before, like the world was collapsing around me or something like that, would actually be even worse than these simple lyrics that kind of make it feel authentic to me as well. But I do like lyrics that are a bit more poetic and a bit less direct. I do love one sentence where he says, a man in white trying to get it right. So they're in front of a medical professional and they're waiting for him to tell him how his wife can be saved. And if you've been in a situation similar to this will really hit home, and it did for me. So yeah, the lyrics are quite simple, but I also like a few parts of them. And again, it's very personal, but this is also my personal opinion of the lyrics. And in the end, I gave 3 out of 5 points for the lyrics. Now for the voice, I was very pleasantly surprised. He's a comedian, but he does have a very good voice, very smooth, a nice texture to it. It really fits the feeling of the song, his voice does. And he is also good at, you know, different vocal techniques. It feels like he sings upside down, which is very, very hard to do. So well done for that. However, I also think, and I kind of like that I can sing this song myself because it's not that difficult vocally, I feel like. However, I also think that his voice is smooth and nice, but it's also not as unique as some other voices we might hear this year in Eurovision. And so in the end, I gave 3.5 out of 5 points. For the performance, again, obviously this is very personal to him and you see the emotion in his face. I don't think he has to act during the song. He just remembers what he is singing about and the feelings come to him automatically, obviously. There's this part where he sings, I admire your power and your will, and you kind of see his face light up, thinking about his strong wife. That is very a sweet moment as well. But then I also thought if you turn off the music and you don't know what the song is about and you see him perform, do you really know that it is a song about a traumatic moment in his life? I'm not 100% sure. I would like a few more close-ups and a bit more feeling, not overdoing it, but just a little bit more. However, I also think the way he performs this is very authentic. And so in the end, I gave 3 out of 5 points. Then for the staging, there are a few really beautiful moments, like when the soft orange light beams behind him. That is very beautiful. There are different color schemes. There's a blue color scheme and this more softer color scheme. So there is change, visual change during the performance. What I don't really understand is when they turn him, well, I kind of do understand what they want to do with it. When they turn him upside down, it kind of distracts from the simplicity of the song a little bit too much. And also having the dancers there distracts me at least a bit too much. I think with a song like that, you should either go with a completely simplistic staging, just him on that stage, focus on him and his emotion and his voice, and not do any other gimmicks, like turning him upside down. I get that this is supposed to symbolize how his life was turned upside down by this terrible news and how he's fighting through it. I see that, but I do think it's a bit too distracting. Or you go a completely other route and do something like Michael Schulte, maybe have a few images behind you and some graphics that tell the story as well. I mean, the song doesn't really need to be told through the staging as it is so direct, but I think having something personal in the staging as well would be cool as well, or good for this kind of song. In the end, I think there is a lot of potential for improvement, and so I gave 2.5 out of 5 points. Now, the song obviously is quite simple, but that makes it feel quite authentic to me as well. It is his song. This is what he wrote. There wasn't a team of writers behind him adding a few gimmicks, songwriting gimmicks there and here. It is a simple song, but that makes it authentic. It feels cozy and relaxing as well, very, very sweet as well. And I love the piano in it, especially the instrumentation. But I mean, it is also quite monotonous. It takes a long time to build and become a bit more anthemic in the end. But as a song, there is not as much happening, which can be a big plus, I think, and does tell the story quite well. But this is my personal opinion, and it's not not one of my favorite songs, at least, that have been chosen. So I gave 3 out of 5 points. Now the song counts 3 times, the staging counts twice, and that gives us a total of 3 out of 5 points for Slovenia. Let's have a quick look at your votes again. So I'm with the 27% with the 3 points, but I like the song more than the majority of my followers and subscribers. Speaking of subscribers, before I tell you my prediction for Slovenia, do subscribe to this channel. Only a third of you watching this video are, and more videos like this one discussing and analyzing songs of 2025, Eurovision news, interpretations, predictions, whatever you want will be coming out soon. So if you don't want to miss that, do subscribe. Now, let's get to the prediction. Can Slovenia qualify with this song? I first always look at the historical data. Slovenia has managed to qualify 60% of the time in the last 10 editions. Quite surprisingly good, actually. I expected something a bit lower. 60% is quite good, so that is good for Klemen. However, Slovenia is in semi-final 1, and there are a lot of powerhouses in the semi-final. You have Sweden, you have Ukraine, who usually qualify. You have the Netherlands, you have Norway. Belgium already chose a very good song. So this might be a very, very difficult semifinal to qualify from, especially for a country like Slovenia that doesn't have as much support. And in this semifinal, you only really have Croatia. That might help Slovenia. So that's a bit of a minus. However, when I think about the song, if this is surrounded by a lot of loud, up-tempo songs with flashy staging, I think this could stand out. And we've seen songs like these qualify in the past, surprisingly qualify, because people also wanted something a bit simpler and a bit less chaotic, as some of the other songs might be. And I also think that the story that the song tells is something that a lot of people can relate to, have been through, and will touch a lot of people. And I think if you're really touched by a song, you will pick up the phone and vote for it. And all the people that aren't touched by it, they can't vote against the song. So I do think that this could do well in the televote. And so, because the semifinals obviously are 100% televote, so for a moment I thought, is this qualifying? Like, is this a surprise? But then I went with, because semifinal one is such a bloodbath, I went with not qualifying, unfortunately. However, I do think that there is a small chance that this could surprise and do much better than people think. And if it does and goes to the final, I do think that the televoters can connect to this quite well. I do think that a lot of juries will like it for his good vocal performance, and juries seem to like more simplistic songs sometimes as well. And so if it does make it to the final, I think 15th to 20th might be possible for Slovenia, but they have to qualify first. I would be quite happy if it did qualify, actually. Now, we already saw your votes, but I also want to have a look at your comments from the community tab, some of your comments from the community tab of my channel. Marcos says he has an amazing voice and the song is also with a beautiful storyline. I love the performance that he gave, love the part that he was upside down. Finally, a Slovenian entry that I like since 2021. Good for you. That's not that long ago, by the way, 2021. Brisa Gela says, I like the meaningful lyrics, but they would have been more powerful if they were less direct somehow. I completely agree with that. Then Kruno, I need new glasses, I think. I can't really see the name, sorry. He said, I was expecting something more energetic from Klemen. He's a very talented guy and a funny guy. I do think that these expectations that people had that he would have something upbeat might have hurt the first impression people have of the entry, but most people in Europe don't know who he is, so he won't have that problem, I don't think. Then Hannah King says, I honestly believe that people are just upset that New Religion didn't win. That's the big fan favorite in Slovenia that he beat, and that might be a reason why a lot of people don't like the song. There's something called the Gustav effect. I have coined that phrase. Gustav also won a national final where there were other fan favorites and people didn't like the song. And then during Eurovision week, they kind of noticed that it was a good song. Klemen's piece is a wonderful, chill, and sweet ballad. Hannakin continues about dealing with a loved one with terminal illness. It's not a huge dance bop, and it's not an insane power ballad. We so rarely get anything outside these two genres, and Klemen still grabbed the attention of enough people with his connection with the audience. Wonderful vocals and singing upside down. And then Elias Stenmon says it's a good enough song. In my mind, the lyrics are quite emotional, but they're also a bit too on the nose. I agree with that. I think being a bit more clever, subtle in the writing would have worked better for me. I've kind of forgotten the melody, but I don't think it was too bad. I think that's a good comment to summarize some of the things I've said as well. Thank you for watching the video. If you have a different opinion of the song, the lyrics, let me know in the comments what you think, and let me also know whether you also think that Slovenia might be a surprise qualifier in May. Thank you so much, and please subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any of my videos, and then I'll see you for my next one. See you then, and bye-bye.